What is going on, internet world? My name is Tom, and you probably know me as Rivet, and I'm your coach of the Atlanta Braviaries, the highest flying, flyest looking team on YouTube. And we are here today with our Week 2 battle of the NPBA Kanto Division against the Jungle Gang and Coach Nega-Loser. This is going to be a great match. Welcome to the workshop. Alrighty guys, we are here breaking down our Week 2 matchup for the NPBA Kanto Division against the Jungle Gang and Coach Nega-Loser. He's got a really scary team, but I think we have a solid squad to take him on this week. His first mon is Zapdos, a very good Pokemon, an electric and flying type with very good stats across the board. He fills offensive and defensive roles incredibly well with the static and pressure abilities. They get moves like Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Hurricane, Heat Wave, U-Turn, Defog, Roost, does a bunch of stuff really well. In this match, I would probably expect a more defensive set. It's one of his better switch-ins to stuff like Aegislash and Urshifu. So definitely scared of Zapdos. Next up, he's got Galarian Darmanitan, incredibly scary Ice type with the Gorilla Tactics and Zen Mode abilities. Very, very strong with Gorilla Tactics and something like Choice Scarf, Icicle Crash, Flare Blitz, Earthquake, Rock Slide, U-Turn. They all hit incredibly hard. And of course, he also has the option for Zen Mode setup with something like Belly Drum and Salac Berry, which could be incredibly scary, turning him into an Ice and Fire type. So in this match, I really hope Galarian Darmanitan doesn't come. Icicle Crash, Flare Blitz, Earthquake, and U-Turn kind of messes me up with the Choice Scarf set, but he did just make a transaction to drop it, so I'm hoping that means it won't come. It didn't come in his Week 1 match either. But if it does come, I hopefully can play around it, but it kind of messes me up. So next up is Mega Gyarados, a very powerful Dragon and Dark type with the Mold Breaker ability, a very scary Dragon Dance Sweeper with moves like Waterfall, Crunch, Earthquake, Ice Fang. So it can take some hits pretty well with it's got very solid bull. So Mega Gyarados, it also kind of messes me up, especially in the late game. I have to keep my Amoonguss around, as you'll see, so I can take on hits with it, because it's one of my better answers to it. But, you know, I do have some solid revenging options for it as well. So next up, he's got Mamoswine, probably the Ice type I expect this week. An incredible Wall Breaker with Ground and Ice type stab. Icicle Crashes and Earthquakes hit incredibly hard. It gets Knockoff and Superpower and Stone Edge for added coverage. Ice Shard for priority. Consult Stealth Rocks. It's got pretty good natural bulk in conjunction with the Thick Bat ability, negating his fire weakness. So Mamoswine absolutely messes me up this week. I have pretty much nothing that switches into it safely, so I'm really hoping that doesn't come. A Life Orb Mamoswine would absolutely thrash me. A Choice Card Mamoswine could also be really scary, so I definitely have to watch out for that. Next up is Florges, an incredibly bulky fairy type with the Symbiosis ability, which is pretty useless, but it's an incredible cleric, a very solid Wish Passer, and Moonblast hit pretty hard coming off that base 112 special attack stat. And then, of course, it's got massive special defense, 154. Usually invests in defense so it can take on hits from physical attackers pretty well. Florges is definitely coming. It's his best answer to Urshifu. Obviously, Iron Head and Poison Jab would mess it up, but it switches into its dual stab pretty well, which is pretty important for this team. So definitely expecting Florges. Maybe something like Moonblast, either Wish Protect, Aromatherapy, or Synthesis and Defog, something of the sort. Next up is Dragalogy, a bulky Dragon and Poison type with the adaptability ability, making its Dracos and Sludge Waves hit incredibly hard. It can set Toxic Spikes, it can Flip Out for momentum, and it can Scald Stuff, Fish for burns. Dragalogy in this match, I don't think it comes. He's got a bunch of other mons to fill the slots a little bit better this week, and it doesn't do anything tremendously well for him. Next up is Doublade, a very bulky Ghost and Steel type, a fantastic Eviolite user with a massive 150 defense stat. It can Gyro Ball, it can Iron Head, Close Combat, Shadow Sneak, Shadow Claw. It can set up with Swords Dance, and it's just very, very bulky. So in this match, I would probably expect Doublade to come. It's one of his better switch-ins to Dracovish. If he's like fully physically defensive with Eviolite. Vicious Rend from like a Sand Rush set only does like 27% max, so I would probably expect Doublade this match. Also, he could just do some shadow sneaking stuff if Lele isn't around. It also switches into Lele's dual stab pretty well. So next up is Delphox, a fire and psychic type, pretty powerful special attacker with the Blaze and Magician abilities. It's got a solid move pool of stuff like Flamethrower and Fire Blast, Psychic and Psyshock, Dazzling Gleam, Grass Knot. It can run Calm Mind, or we can do some like Power Herb Cheese with Solar Beam. Try to steal some items with Magician. Delphox, I don't know if it comes this week. It doesn't do a whole lot for him, and stuff like Urshifu can kind of mess it up. It's a decent answer to scare out stuff like Aegislash, but Gigalith does a pretty good number against it, so not sure if Delphox comes this week. Next up is Cinccino, a very fast normal type with the Skill Link ability, boosting up its moves like Tail Slap, Bullet Seed, Rock Blast, and it lets hit Triple Axle hit all 3 times, I believe, as well. It can knock off, it can U-turn, it gets other cool moves like Dunk Shot. So Cinccino, it might come this match just because its coverage is pretty solid. It can pivot around some of my faster wall breakers. So I definitely have to watch out for that. Next up is Credilli, a bulky grass and rock type with the Storm Drain ability. It's a solid stealth rocker and a pretty solid answer to Dracovish, just because he's immune to my Vicious Rends. So it sets stealth rocks, it can toxic some stuff It can recover up for longevity. Moves like Power Whip, Rock Blast, Stone Edge, all those hit pretty hard. So I'm probably expecting Critterly this week just because it's a solid answer to Vish, but otherwise it can set Stealth Rocks, but it doesn't do a whole lot for him. And then last but not least is the other Hoenn Fossil, Armaldo. It's a rock and bug type, pretty bulky. It can set and remove Stealth Rocks with Rapid Spin, and then moves like Stone Edge, X Scissor. I believe it gets stuff like Aqua Jet, Knockoff. Those all hit pretty hard, but honestly, I don't think Armaldo comes this match. He's got a bunch of other good stuff, and it kind of gets wrecked by all 4 of my wall breakers. So with all that out of the way, let's hop into what I am bringing this match. Leading us off, we got Big Tylon Urshifu over here, rocking a Choice Scarf set this week with Unseen Fist, Close Combat, Wicked Blow, Iron Head, and U-Turn. This is a really solid set this week. He doesn't have a lot of solid answers for Wicked Blow. His best switch into it is Florges, obviously, because Mega Gyarados definitely doesn't want to take something like a Close Combat. Iron Head is there for Florges. U-Turn is just there for pivoting. If he goes into Zapdos and he statics me, that would be pretty bad, but this is a really solid option to come in against Darmanitan on the Revenge switch in, because I can outspeed anything. I can fire off a big Close Combat. I can just U-Turn out for momentum. So really liking Ty this week. I have to keep him around to revenge that Darm if it comes, and I really hope he doesn't get static. That would be worst case scenario, so really hope that doesn't happen. Next up, we're rocking Akuo, the Aegislash this week with a Sugar Berry set, and Stance Change, Shadow Ball, Flash Cannon, Close Combat, and King Shield. Max Special Attack, Rash with enough speed for uninvested Florges, and then the rest thrown into attack to make my close combats hit harder. This is just a solid wall breaker this week. It comes in on Florges really easily. It can scare that thing out with a Flash Cannon. Close combat hits Mega Gyarados pretty hard. Shadow Ball is just there for secondary stab. It hits a lot of other stuff really hard, like Zapdos, Dragalge. It hits Doublade, obviously. Delphox. So really need Akuo to put in some work this week. Chip down the stuff like the Zapdos, the Florges, and Cradilly, or Armaldo if it comes. So Sugar Berry is there for, I can stay in on something like Darmanitan if it's locked into Earthquake. I can stay in really aggressively on a Mamoswine. If he's like Life Orb, Earthquake won't kill me with my Sugar Berry. So, and I can Flash Cannon that. So I'm willing to lose a ton of health on Aegislash over here to take out Mamoswine, because that thing is an absolute menace. So I'm willing to take that trade. Next up, we're rocking Tapu Lele. Lele running a Life Orb Psychic Surge set this week with Psyshock, Moonblast, Shadow Ball, and Calm Mind. Max Special Attack, Max Speed, Timid. This helps me Speed Tie Galarian Darmanitan if he's not Choice Scarfed, which he probably would be. But these 3 moves, Psyshock, Moonblast, Shadow Ball, kind of just destroy his entire team. He doesn't have a solid answer to this coverage. Calm Mind lets me boost up and then fire off a Life Orb +1 Psyshock, which smacks pretty much everything on his team. Moonblast hits Mega Gyarados, and the Shadow Ball is there for Delphox and Doublade. So Doublade is pretty scary. He switches in on this, but he definitely doesn't want to take 2 Shadow Balls. 2 Shadow Balls kind of kills him, and he can't Shadow Sneak me because of Psychic Surge. If he's something like Air Balloon, he can switch in. I think that would let him Shadow Sneak because he's not on terrain, or maybe it's the target. I'm not really sure, but gotta watch out for that. Next up, like I said earlier, we're rocking Amoonguss. We're rocking Sportagus, the Amoonguss, with another defensive Rocky Helmet set this week. Giga Drain, Clear Smog, Spore, and Toxic, fully physically defensive. Giga Drain hits stuff like Gyarados. It hits Galarian Darmanitan, and something like Mamoswine if he's locked into something like Superpower. Clear Smog is there for Mega Gyarados, so he can't just try to set up Dragon Dances in my face and then sweep me. I can remove those boosts away, force him to hit me, force him to take Helmet Chip, or force him to switch out. Spore is there for just putting stuff to sleep, obviously. If he's running Florges with Aromatherapy or Heal Bell, he can clear that off. And then Toxic is there for other stuff that I want to status, something like Florges, something like Zapdos, that I don't necessarily want to put to sleep. So really liking Amoonguss this week. I really needed to do some good work and keep that Mega Gyarados in check, because if I don't have Tai Lung with Choice Scarf, or if he's at like +2/+2 with Mega Gyarados, that kind of just destroys my team. So I really got to keep that in check. Next up, we got Revelation 19. The Tornadus coming back this week with a Yachi Berry set with the Prankster ability, Acrobatics, Superpower, Knockoff, and Defog. I got 200 EVs with the Jolly Nature and Speed to outspeed Timid Delphox, I believe. The Yachi Berry is there to help me switch in against Mamoswine. I can take, with my HP investment in the Yachi Berry, I can take a Life Orb, Ice Field Crash, and scare that thing out with a Superpower. If he's got Ice Shard, he can obviously just click it next and it would kill me, but I can try to switch into Akuo, try to be aggressive with it. But after I lose my Yachi Berry, Akro is doing a lot of stuff. Superpower hits Mamoswine very, very hard. It also hits Galarian Darmanitan if he wants to try to switch in and be aggressive. Knockoff is there for just general utility, and most importantly, knocking off Doublade's Eviolite. And then Defog with Prankster just to defog any hazards away, or something of the sort. I don't really need Defog this week, especially without my boots. I'm not a super reliable Defogger, so I'm okay running Prankster even with Psychic Surge, so I can try to get that off. And then last but not least, We got Big Henry the Gigalith rocking a specially defensive set with leftovers this week. Rock Blast, Earthquake, Stealth Rock, and Toxic. 248 in HP, 136 in defense, 124 in special defense with the Careful Nature. My defense investment lets me take 2 Guerrilla Tactics Choice Scarf Icicle Crashes from Darmanitan. I can scare that thing out with a Rock Blast. And then I have a lot of Spadef on here along with the Sand to make me specially bulky to take hits from stuff like Zapdos and Delphox. Delphox can be carrying Grass Knot, which would do a lot because I am so heavy. But this shuts down Zapdos pretty good. I'm expecting him to probably be a defensive set anyway, just to handle stuff like Tai and Accio pretty good. So he'll probably be carrying Toxic on that, so I got to watch out for that. But otherwise, this is just a solid defensive piece this week. And that can do some good work against Zapdos and Delphox and Dragalge. So with all that out of the way, let's hop into this match. This is definitely going to be a scary one. I got to make sure I don't lose to his big offensive threats, but I got some of those too. So with all that out of the way, let's hop into this. Alrighty guys, we're about to hop into this Week 2 matchup against the Jungle Gang. You can see the 6 I expect them to bring up on the screen. Zapdos, Mega Gyarados, Mamoswine, Florges, Doublade, and that Cordelia. I could definitely see something like Darmanitan Galar in there, or maybe Delphox. So you've seen the 6 I am bringing and why I am bringing them. So without any further ado, let's hop into this match. Okay, yeah, we see Delphox instead of Cordelia, which is totally fine. Very glad to not see Darmg. I knew it probably wasn't coming, but I just really didn't want to deal with it. So I definitely got to watch out for that Delphox. I don't actually have super good switch-ins to Delphox. Just because he's definitely carrying Grass Knot, and that'll do a ton to Big Henry. So that was probably a mistake. I probably should have brought Rindo Berry, but what can you do? So from a lead perspective, he could definitely lead Mamoswine to set rocks or just be a nuisance. He could lead Zapdos because it matches up pretty good against everything. He could lead Doublade. I think I like leading Big Urshi. It matches up pretty well against everything. Can U-turn out pretty safely. If he leads Delphox, then he could be Choice Scarf. I doubt it though, but that thing learns D-Gleam, and I don't want to lose my Urshifu immediately, so I'd probably have to switch into Gigalith. But I gotta calc how much a Grass Knot the Grass Knot is gonna do to Gigalith. That'll do a ton. Yeah, okay, actually, that doesn't do a ton if he's, not Choice Specs or Life Orb. It does less than half, but still, that's going to do a bunch. So I'm going to lead Tai here. He's just going to lead Florges. That's totally okay. He has to be scared of a big Poison Jab coming off, but I'm just going to U-turn into Sporticus here. Or I'm going to U-turn into Accio. If he, scouts and goes for Protect or something, that's totally okay. But this thing shouldn't be able to do a whole lot. If he's some cheesy Choice Scarf set, then I'm going to reveal that I'm Choice Scarf, but I don't think he'd do that. But I should be able to switch in on this guy fairly safely and force him into a situation where he's got to make a prediction on Big Aegislash over here. So can also calc some investment. He's most definitely physically defensive, but yeah, this should do 10%. It does any more than he's Spadef for some reason. But he could also be Kibia or Babiri Berry. Alright, 10, yeah, he's physically defensive. I'm just going to go straight into Accio here. I don't think this thing learns Shadow Ball or anything of the sort, so he's probably just going to toss off a Wish here. He's just going to go straight for Moonblast. That's fine. Get a special attack drop. That kind of stinks. He's leftovers. Very cool. Oh, this is lagging. Bitch. So I can go for Shadow Ball here. That would do a lot. He probably goes into Gyarados if I were to bet, or he flicks Protect. But actually, at -1, this isn't going to do a lot. So I can either King Shield... Yeah, but I could be a physically offensive set, which is something he has to be careful of. But actually, Moonblast in my shield form isn't going to do... If I go into shields, that'd be bad. He could hit me for a lot. At -1, I'm not touching this thing at all, and he could just Wish. But, I'll go for Shadow Ball and see what he wants to do. I don't think he'll stay in here. If he does, then good play. Because if I had Iron Head and I was physically offensive, I would just destroy this thing probably. If I was physically offensive, Adamant. I don't care if you're physically offensive. If I had Iron Head, oh yeah, he wouldn't die, but it would do an ass ton. And there's no way he'd be willing to risk that on Florges, especially when I could be slower and take nothing from a Blast. But if he stays in, then fantastic play. I still have the capacity to break this thing. I just have to do it with Lele. because I can Calm Mind in front of this thing, and then Side Shock will do a lot. But I'll just have to be a little bit more careful. Yeah, oh, he goes into Doublade. This is going to tickle. Bonk! Alright, did 54. He's probably going to Shadow Sneak here. Shadow Sneak would do a lot, but my play is to go into Sporticus. He's either going to double into Gyarados or he's going to Shadow Sneak. Either, I'm totally okay with Sporticus coming out. I don't really know why I made that play. He's just going to go for the Shadow Sneak. He's going to take Helmet Chip. If I were to bet, he stays in here. But I'm going to put something to sleep. If it's Doublade, I'm totally okay with that. That prevents him from sneaking Aegis later in the game. But he would probably just save it for a sack later. But if anything else comes in, then I'm totally okay with that as well. He could be aggressive and go into Mamo. I don't think he'd do that because this Spore is incredibly obvious. But he could be something like Safety Goggles, Zapdos, which is another option. That would have been a great ring. Or he could just go hard into Delphox. He's going to go into Florges. Well, this is your Cleric, so you're asleep. This thing doesn't get Natural Cure. I can go back hard into Accio and put on more pressure, or I can go into Lele. Or I can go back, and now I don't want to go into Big Tie, because if he were to, like, wake up, that'd be terrible. So he could double here into Doublade to catch Accio coming out. Or he could double into pretty much anything else, but I don't think he stays in here. I'm surprised he went into Florges to take that. I can also go into Big Rev and try to get my rocks up, which is an option I don't hate, because that would make Gyarados take a lot. That would make some other stuff take a lot. I can try to Toxic something else coming in. He would probably go into... I don't know what he'd go into. He'd probably just try to sack off Doublade. But I can go into Lele. He wouldn't be able to Shadow Sneak, and I can get a Calm Mind up probably. So I'm going to go into Lele and put on some... Oh, he just goes straight into Mamoswine. Okay. Well, glad I didn't go... I mean, Accio, he probably would have died. But realistically, if I set up Terrain, which means he can't Ice Shard me. And if I was Choice Specs, I would obliterate this thing. I mean, I'm still Life Orb. So let's see how much of Mamoswine is going to take from a Psyshock. If I had Psychic, he would die. I don't. I have Psyshock because I wanted the other damage. Let's just see if Psychic would have killed. Psychic. Oh yeah, Psychic would have macerated this guy. Very sad. But, you know, that's the life I chose. Bummerini, Alfredo. But Moonblast would still tickle. I'm just going to go into Rev. I can calc investment. He's going to stay in. Oh, he's going to double into Florges. That's okay. I'm just going to... I can knock off this thing's leftovers, which I don't hate. That'll make it a little bit easier. Yeah, I'm going to knock off here. Knock off his leftovers. And if he wakes up, then that's fine. But now I'm just going to go straight into... I can go into Accio this time. If he goes back into Mamo, that's cool. But go into Accio. He's going to wake up. He's going to Wish. That's okay. My play is Shadow Ball. Nothing... everything is going to be able to take at least one hit. Except for Mamoswine. If I went for Flash Cannon, I would smack Mamoswine. But if I were to bet he goes into Gyarados, and he can take the hit anyway. Or he could also go into Zapdos. The only situation I don't want is that Doublade coming in and getting back up to full. So I'm going to click Shadow Ball again. If he stayed in, because I had a lot of speed on here. So if he were to stay in, I would take a lot. And then he would be back at full, because I'm not going to do a whole lot to this guy. But I don't want Doublade getting back up to full. But let's see how much investment he had. Because if I can safely smack that thing, even with a Flash Cannon, I'm going to do it. So, -1 Shadow Ball did what? 54? Yeah, -1 Shadow Ball did 54. Oh, so he's incredibly specially bulky. Yeah, no, he's max. But still, I'm an Aegislash. Flash Cannon wouldn't kill it all, though. That's a damn shame. Realistically, what do I care? Like, he comes in, he's going to take a Flash Cannon, and then he'll be able to Shadow Sneak, but I can go hard into Sporticus, and nothing he can do can really hurt me. I can put something else back to sleep. So, I still think he's just going to go into Zapdos or Gyarados. I'm going to click Shadow Ball. He goes into Mamo. Damn. That's a shame. Had I clicked Flash Cannon, he would have died. He's going to get back up. Well, I went into Big Rev last time. So, I'm going to kick King Shield and see what he wants to do. If he's choiced, he'll lock himself into whatever it is, and I can kind of get an idea. He's going to go for knockoff. But that attack drop is going to let me switch in. If he's choiced, then he has to go for it, but let's see how much Sporticus would take from a -1. I mean, if he's choice banned, that's not going to do a whole lot. But if he's Life Orb, which I would love to see some damage. I would love to see Life Orb. But if he was choice banned, wouldn't do a lot. If he's Life Orb, I'll see some investment. I can also go into Rev now, because even if he knocks off again, a knockoff into an Ice Shard will probably kill me. But what am I do here? Rev is definitely my least useful member, so I'm just going to go into it. If he goes for Icicle Crash this time, that's totally okay. But, oh, he's going to double into Florges. Oh, he's going to get another Wish off. That sucks. Well, hard back into Accio we go. He's going to toss off another Wish. A shame. But I'm going to make the same play again. Because if he wants to try to reliably go into that Mamoswine, he's making a huge gamble that I don't click Flash Cannon. I still don't understand why he hasn't gotten to Gyarados yet. Gyarados can take any hit from me and then threaten me incredibly hard with a crunch, or he just starts setting up. But this time I'm going to click Flash Cannon because I think he's going to stay. I'm just going to do something a little bit different to make him see that I have Flash Cannon, because I could be like, oh, he's going to go. This time he goes to Gyarados. You know what? That's alright. He would have not taken a whole lot from this anyway. I get a Spadef drop. Oh, hard into Amoonguss. Don't have to think twice. If he sets up, that's fine. A +1 crunch will do a lot, but I can put him to sleep. Oh, he's going to go for sub. Oh, that's bad. Giga Drain better break this sub. That's all I got to say. Because Clear Smog doesn't go through sub. That's bad. Giga Drain, unless he's got an ungodly amount of bulk on here, Giga Drain will definitely break. But then it's going to be a guessing game of when do I click Spore or Clear Smog versus Giga Drain. And if he's got something like Ice Fang, that'll hurt a lot too. Does Gyarados learn Psychic Fangs? Ice Fang does 40 max and he'll take Helmet Chip, which will make this thing's longevity more of an issue. He'll try to have to go into floor just to heal it up. I don't know why I didn't think of Sub Gyarados. That was such an obvious thing for Sporticus, and that covered Aegislash incredibly well. Great prep. But hopefully I should be able to wiggle my way out of this. Because unless he's literally like max, this breaks Sub. Yeah, he would literally have to be max HP, max special defense, careful, for it to have a good chance to not break Sub. And I don't think he'd do that. I think he needs the speed for other stuff. I mean, does he? He needs speed for offensive Aegislash. That's pretty much it. Not good. Not good. Oh, but he's actually, no, he's at -1 Spadef, which is very lucky on my part, so this will absolutely break. So, I don't think that's a huge determinant in me breaking Sub, but I'm a lucky duck nonetheless. Because that means he won't be able to set up in front of me at all. Yeah, this will do a bunch. Oh, he's just going to go straight into Zapdos. Okay. Well, he can either Volt Switch or Toxic. Either way, my play is to go into Henry. I'm going to try to get my rocks up. I was going to go straight for Heat Wave. Totally cool. Please don't burn me. Excelente. He's going to take Chip. I'm going to take Sandstorm. He's probably going to go into Doublade here, but I'm just going to set my Rockies up. If he goes for Volt Switch, that's totally okay. I can eat that no problem. Let's also calc some damage on this guy, because the fact that he has Heat Wave leads me to believe he's offensive. Because I don't think a utility set had room for Heat Wave. Heat Wave did 7. No, he's not offensive. He's utility. He's just got Heat Wave because a Hurricane, I think, lowers accuracy in sand. But yeah, he's uninvested, so he's definitely defensive. Probably for... I don't know what Zapdos is defensive for. Just general stuff. This was a solid switch into Sand Rushing, Sand Slash, which I almost brought, because his team doesn't love ground types. Edgequake kind of messed up his entire team, but I thought I'd need the other stuff better. But get some Rockies up here. If he's got Defog and he stays in and goes for Thunderbolt, not the end of the world. I'll fire off a Rock Blast next time. Goes into Doublade, not the end of the world at all. I can go back into a Moongus. He can't heal himself. He can double into floor, just try to toss off a Wish into Doublade or Mamo or Gyarados. But I got to get in Lele and start doing some Lele things. Because at +1, there's nothing on this team that can touch it. It smacks literally everything. Doublade is dead. It dies to a Shadow Ball and he won't be able to sneak me in terrain. Zapdos at +1, he won't be doing a lot. The worst he can do is Toxic. Mamo is weak enough where even just a raw Psyshock should be able to kill that thing. Or a raw Moonblast definitely does. Floridas doesn't want to take a +1 Psyshock. Gyarados doesn't want to take a +1 Moonblast. And Delphox doesn't want to take a Shadow Ball. So I just got to get Lele in and I should be in a really good spot. Also, YouTube comment section. If you know what the name Big Henry is referring to, I'll love you forever. I don't have literally anything to give away, but I give away my love and respect to you. If you know what Big Henry is. He's gonna go straight into Florgus. Totally cool. He can Wish. I'm just gonna get a Toxic off on this guy. And see what he wants to do. So he can heal up Doublade. I'm not gonna let him do that. I'm gonna click Earthquake. And hopefully it would kill Doublade coming in. He can also Wish into Gyarados. Or Mamo. If I were to bet he wishes into Gyarados. I can't let that thing come in for free because if I switch into Sporticus on that, he gets another sub up. And then my life is more difficult again. So I'm going to go into Sporticus. If he goes into Mamo, that's okay. Mamo screwed me up anyway. But Henry has done his job by Toxicing Florges and getting rocks. So realistically, I could sack off Henry. And because, Delphox, I still need to handle. But since Darm isn't here, I don't need it to try to switch into that. But Mamo just still wrecks me. It rips me apart. Just because it's so strong. I could also double into Big Rev. Because he can threaten any of those, and I can surprise Gyarados or Mamoswine with a superpower. I don't think it would kill, but it would do a lot. Superpower would do a little over half, which is not a terrible chunk. And he wouldn't be able to sub up as well. And then I could just superpower again, force him to break. I could just spam superpower until he died or sub is broken. Because I don't think he'll stay in for this. I'm going to go into Rev. I like that play. I want to try to surprise him. If he goes for Moonblast, then okay, he'll heal himself up, but his Toxic will start ramping up. And I think that Big Henry staying in and just clicking Earthquake is a pretty solid play that he has to be wary of just because Doublade is sitting there. Oh, he is going to go into Doublade. Well, I mispredicted. I'm just going to click Knock Off here. I'm going to knock off his Eviolite. He's seen that. He probably goes back into Florges, but this thing is healed up, which is a problem. Lele still two-shots it with Shadow Ball. But, I really thought Gyarados was going to come out there. That's a shame on me. Misplay. But, team's still looking okay. Lele, again, still in really solid position. I just got to find my opportunity. He's going to go into Gyarados. He's going to take a knockoff, and Superpower will kill. Stay in for this. Stay in for this. Please. He might switch out on the U-turn. If he switches out, I'll be sad. Don't go into Zapdos. Stay in for this. No! Sad. Well, now he knows I have Superpower. He's just going to try to Wish into this thing again. I'm going to go back into Accio. He's going to try to heal himself up. Oh, he's got a Synthesis and Wish. Okay. Well. Shadow Ball time. Mamo doesn't want to take a Shadow Ball. If I had Shadow Sneak, that would do a lot. Gyarados, Rocks plus Shadow Ball will still do a lot, and I can go into Sporticus completely free. So if he stays in and Moonblast me, he's going to take a Shadow Ball, and he's going to take Toxic damage, which is ramping up pretty good. But realistically, I probably should have undersped this thing. He's going to... Zapdos, I don't think he's going to like this too much, but let's see how much it does. 47. Not a bad chunk. He's going to Roost here. So I can be aggressive and go into Big Tie. I can also go into Lele and try to put on a lot of pressure. Because Henry coming out just lets him U-turn or Volt Switch into something else like Doublade, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to be aggressive and go hard into Lele. If he Thunderbolts, it'll do a lot, but he's going to Roost. Yep. And I think this is my opportunity to click Calm Mind. Let's see how much Doublade is going to take from a +1 Shadow Ball with his bulk. He was incredibly bulky, but at the same time, I'm a Tapu Lele. So, and he can't Shadow Sneak me. Lele. A +1 Shadow Ball has a very strong chance to kill. So I'm going to click it. Come on. See what he goes for. Oh, he defogs my terrain away. That's a mega bummer. But realistically, I don't super need it. So I'm just going to click Moonblast then. Moonblast hits pretty much everything. But he defogs away my... Oh, my Shadow Sneaking ability. If I were to bet Doublade comes in, anyway, if Gyarados comes in, that's fine. Literally, if anything comes in besides Doublade, I have the tools for, so I'm going to click Shadow Ball. See what he does. See what he does. Zapdos is not going to enjoy a +1 anything if he wants to stay in. I could go for it again. That would definitely kill Doublade, but at the same time, he'd be able to sneak me, and that would do a lot. But on the other hand, he's not invested, and it only does about half. So, could click it again. But I don't want to. Because then, that plus like a banded Mamoswine Ice Shard would definitely kill. But I forgot that defog got rid of Drain, because I am stupid. Stupid. But, you know, I can reset the situation. Lele can still set up a Calm Mind in front of a lot of stuff. And do some work. And I've also got Big Urshi sitting in the back who's still poised to do some solid work. Because Florges probably doesn't want to take 2 CCs at this point, or just 2 Wicked Blows. Gyarados doesn't. Nothing really wants to take 2 Wicked Blows. That Delphox, the way he's playing it, might be Choice Scarf, so I definitely have to watch out for that, just because it hasn't seen the field. But I'm still okay with the situation. I've done a very bad job managing his team's longevity, but I still think I'm doing okay regardless. Because as poorly as I'm letting him heal back up, he hasn't really hit me for anything. It's been 26 turns, and the only person who's taken real damage, essentially, is Aegislash, and that was 1 Moonblast. So... But this is good. This is what my team is supposed to do. It's supposed to force people to try to, you know, be defensive and Wally. But that was the worst Wally impression I've ever done. Will I edit it out? Nobody knows. The other note is the fact that Doublade is Spadef and there's no Cordilli means that Dracovish would have popped off had I brought it. The only thing that switched in at least mildly okay was Gyarados. And like a banded, I originally had a Choice Band set with Leech Life, and Leech Life would have smacked that thing post-Mega, and I also had Stone Edge on there, which would have rocked that, pre-Mega. And I dropped it for Lele, but Lele's doing fantastic work anyway, so I'm totally okay with that trade, but realistically, I should have just not run Tornadus, because he's done pretty much nothing. I mean, he scares the Mamo and the Gyarados now. He's going to go into Gyarados. That's totally okay. He's going to take a Shadow Ball, and now he's going to take a Moonblast. He can go into Doublade now, but that's fine. If he goes into Doublade, I just go into Amoonguss. I can take any hit. He's going to take Helmet Chip. I can reset Lele. I can try to get it back in later. I am taking some Life Orb Recoil, but that's pretty negligible in the grand scheme of things compared to what I needed to do. So... I mean, if Doublade comes out, I might just click Moonblast into Shadow Ball. Because Shadow Sneak doesn't do a lot. There's no way he's got attack investment on there based off of how much the Shadow Ball from Aegislash did. So I could just kill it. So I don't want to let it... But he could, double into Florges and try to heal it back up. And then we're back to that situation. So, yeah. Double recovery Florges is kind of a pain in the butt. Very sad to see that. But he doesn't look like he must have Aromatherapy on there. His last, because he doesn't have Protect because Synthesis is there. It's something. While we're waiting for Mr. Loser to take his turn, look at my Mudkip. Look at him, he's so cute. Fantastic. Alright, let's got. I got Sylveon. Also cute. Remember to support your local businesses. Especially crazy anime dudes. Because they're fun. Yeah, shout out to Geekster store in Londonderry. If there's any internet friends who are in the Massachusetts, New Hampshire area, check it out. It's pretty rad. He's a very nice man who owns it. Doublette comes out now. But other guy, he's not going to like that too much. And I can either click Shadow Ball this time, or I can click, see, I'll be at 30%, which means I would have 3 more moves in me. I'm going to go into Sporticus. There's no reason taking so much damage when he's going to chip himself down anyway. Florges is going to come out here to take the Spore. So I'm going to double into Accio and click Flash Cannon. I can almost guarantee that's going to happen. If he goes for it again, he's a god. Yep. Hello! Nice little double right there. If I were to bet, he sacks off Mega Gyarados. Gyarados might be able to take 1. I could also click CC into something, but I see no reason to not just click Shadow Ball again. I'm going to see how much that Mega Gyarados is going to take. Because he's going to take that pretty easily, I think. Yeah. He can eat that. But CC, what would I do? He would be able to possibly start subbing again, but then he would take Helmet Chip. Helmet would kill him. I can just sit there and spam Giga Drain until he kills himself from my Helmet, or he goes back into this guy. But he could Wish into something. I'm going to click Flash Cannon. He's going to go into Zapdos. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't do a whole lot, but he can Heat Wave, he can Roost, he can Volt Switch. My play either way is to go into Henry. I can click Earthquake or Rock Blast. If he doubles back into Florges, then okay. I could also King Shield. I could be really aggressive and click Shadow Ball on the Roost, but if he Heat Waved, I would die. And Gigalith is just so safe. I can try to Toxic something else, or I can just click Rock Blast, which would do a number to pretty much everything not named Doublade. Let's see what he's going to do. He's going to go for Discharge. Don't pair me. Thank you. He's going to take Chip. If I were to bet Doublade comes out here, my play is to just click Rock Blast. If he goes into Florges, he'll take a little bit, and I can the Toxic will wear him down along with Sandstorm, so I'm going to click Rock Blast. I don't think Doublade is going to enjoy this too much. Then I can just go into Amoonguss incredibly safely, and just either try to kill it with Helmet Chip. So if Florges comes out, he won't enjoy it too much. Oh, he's just going to go straight into Mamoswine. Let's see how much he does. Bonk. Bonk. Only 2. That's a shame. But no bueno situation for our hero. If he goes for knockoff, he probably kills Rev. But at the same time, I need Rev for literally nothing. So if this is a sack, I'm okay with it. If he goes for EQ and I live and I can somehow fire off something cheesy, I'm also okay with it. If I burn my Yachi, okay. He misses Icicle Crash. Very sorry. I would have lived it, I think, possibly with my Yachi Berry, but this lets me click knockoff safely into anything. So let's do that. He goes for it again. He knows I have superpower, so he's either going to go into Florges or Doublade. I'm okay with either coming in. If Doublade comes in, it dies to knockoff. If Florges comes in, I'm back into... Oh, shit. But if he goes into Florges to take the knockoff, how much would an Acro do to it? He's at 68. He would take a knockoff, which is not doing anything. I could also make an incredibly aggressive double into Accio, but I don't want to make that play. I don't think. I can go into it safely and just try to kill whatever wants to come in. Because at this point... Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. I'm just going to click. Heal in Florges. I should have made that play. I'm stupid for not doing it, but I'm going to go back into Lele. Oh, but he's going to get to heal something up. This is the situation in which I wish I was just not any move, or not any item. I'm going to go into Lele. I'll see how much this does. He's going to fire off a Wish. Yup. I can click Calm Mind. I have my terrain back up too. I'm gonna click Calm Mind again. He stays into Moonblast. It shouldn't do a whole lot because I'll get the +1. It'll chip me a little bit. If he got a Spatak drop, that'd be bad. But I pressure a lot of things again. He can't sneak me or ice shard me because this thing's up. Unless he's packing Defog on Florges too. I should be in a decent spot to do some work again. I just gotta make sure that that Delphox isn't Choice Scarf and he kills me with Flamethrower or something of the sort. But I should have made that double back into Aqua. I knew this thing was gonna come back out, but I have been playing relatively aggressive this game, so maybe he thought I was going to make that double, maybe he didn't. Regardless, this is a pretty okay situation to set up a Calm Mind here. Doublade won't take it. Doublade won't take a +1 Shadow Ball. You won't take a +1 Moonblast. We're back to this situation. The only difference is I think that this thing probably doesn't have Defog. I'm interested as to what your last move is. It could be tough. I mean, it could be like Grass Knot for Giga Drain for Gigalith, or it's Psychic to hit a Mungus. It's probably one of those two. I don't think he'd bring Defog. I'm surprised he didn't bring Aromatherapy. Just because Spore was sitting right there. Gonna go into Gyarados. There's no way he takes this, I don't think. He's at 85. But I'm a Lele. I'm a Life Orb Lele at +1. Yeah, you're not doing that. If he's got an ungodly amount of bulk, he'll live it. But this does 97 minimum if he's no HP, no Spadef. I've shown him Moonblast. But this should kill. If it doesn't, I'm in trouble. Actually, if this doesn't kill, he's got no switch into Scarf or Chippu anymore. But this would do definitely enough to where Wicked Blow could just kind of hit it. But then he's got nothing that takes 2 Wicked Blows. His best option would be Scarf Delphox, and I don't think... That's probably Scarf Delphox just because it's sitting there, and Scarf Urshi was such a solid option this week. That's the thing. I gotta make sure I can beat that Delphox. Because I gotta keep Gigalith very healthy. Because if he is Choice Scarfed, and he's got Dazzling Gleam, I don't have priority on anything. Alright, Moonblast, it's gonna come off, he's gonna kill. Well, after 37 turns, we claim the first kill. If Delphox comes out, it probably means he's Choice. I mean, if Delphox comes out, I don't know what I'm gonna do. He could be Choice Scarf and go for Flamethrower. That would do a sizable chunk, especially because I'm chipped a little bit. But I'm at +1 special defense too, and Lele is rather specially bulky just naturally. Fire Blast would do 40%, or if he was Specs, that would be bad. If he goes into Delphox, I could that would do a lot. I would die to Recoil most likely. I have a chance to die to Recoil if Delphox came in. But now that Mega Gyarados is dead, Amoonguss is severely less important. Because, yeah, it handles Doublade fairly well, but I can kill Doublade in various ways. And just making sure I can survive Delphox is definitely the option. I also got to make sure I can manage that Mamoswine, but at the same time, I outspeed Mamoswine. I got nothing that outpaces Scarf Delphox. If he specs, you know what I'll probably do? If Delphox comes in, I'll stay in, and I'll click Shadow Ball. That'll pick up the kill. I'll live no matter what. Even if he's Choice Specs and he goes for Fire Blast, if he goes for Shadow Ball, that would kill me if he was Choice Specs. See if he's Choice Scarf. I can at least calc some sort of investment and see what his deal is. Just to let me know how I can play my Urshifu in the late game. Yeah, Fire Blast does more than Shadow Ball, so I can live any hit from this thing, I believe. If I'm calcing something wrong or I'm forgetting a move, shame on me. I should be able to live any hit. I can calc some investment, see if he's Spec, see if he's Life Orb, and put in some work with bigger Urshifu in the last game, or in the late game. Alright, well, Delphox is going to come out here. He shouldn't be able to kill me unless he crits me, or he's Choice Specs. I'm going to click Shadow Ball. Because Urshi looks really strong. Fire Blast. He's Scarf. Oh, no, he's Choice. Okay, well, he's Sashed. Well, that's okay. Because that means Ty can come in and kill it. So I'm going to go into Henry. Because I can take any hit from this thing, and he'll die to Sandstorm. If he doubles out into Mamoswine, fantastic play. But I should be able to preserve Lele for at least 2 more hits, killing something like Mamo or Doublade with my terrain. But I believe this is a solid play. If he doubles out into Zapdos to take a hit, also great play. But I can threaten pretty hard with a Rock Blast. He'll take, again, some Sandstorm chip. But I want to try to keep Lele around just because it still threatens pretty hard. It threatens everything pretty hard. Focus Sash Delphox is a very interesting brand. Just because Gigalith was my obvious check to it, and that has very solid rocking potential along with Sandstorm chip that would have just broken a Sash. Even if rocks weren't up, I could have come in, take a hit, broken the Sash immediately just from residual chip. And then I could have either Rock Blasted something, I could have fired off a Toxic, and then from there, this situation, Lele would have just cleaned it. Alright, Big Henry's going to come out here. He goes for Grass, not cool. There it is. I'm going to eat that up. And he's going to die to that. I'm still at about half. If he goes into Mamoswine here, my play is to sack off Torn again, as I've been trying to do. I mean, he would have killed me last time, especially if he's Choice Band. But then after that, Big Urshi comes out, and I believe I just click Wicked Blow a couple times, and I should be able to pick up the dub. Only situation, I gotta see how much floor this is gonna take from Wicked Blow. Wicked Blow does 25 minimum. So after some Sandstorm and Toxic, I should be in a pretty okay space to handle it. Especially if I keep Sand up, it'll neuter his Synthesis, which will hinder his ability to heal himself, especially if his last move is like Psychic or Giga Drain, which I expect it to be, because he definitely wouldn't bring Protect on floor just if he brought both. Yeah, honestly a little surprised to see double recovery instead of with Protect, just because it's Sand, but might have forgotten about that, might have just been betting on no Sand, just because stuff like Mamo and M. Gyarados didn't mess it up. But Big Henry picking up his first kill, even if it was passive, just a grain of sand bonking Delphox in the head. But a kill is a kill is a kill is a kill. I'll take it. Yeah, Mamo comes out. Well. Rip Revelation, I guess. Bye-bye. I'm gonna eat it. Still dead. Hate to see it, but what are you gonna do? And now I get 2 hits on Lele. I get 1 hit on Lele because terrain. But I'm gonna go into Ty here and just click Wicked Blow. Yeah, Wicked Blow kills this thing. Ice Shard won't do a whole lot. If he's Choice Band, he's definitely Choice Band because I didn't see Life Orb. So Florges can come in. He's gonna take a lot, but Urshi on the board. Florges probably comes out here. I'm gonna just double. He can try to wish into some stuff again and play this little game, but without Mamoswine sitting here, he doesn't have a way to break Amoonguss. Rip Rev, he tried his best, but it just didn't work. Zapdos, I don't know how well you're taking this. Like, even... it doesn't have a chance to kill. My play is just go into Henry. He's gonna Heat Wave. He can Roost. He can go into Florges or Doublade. Defog doesn't do a lot. I don't know if he'll stay in for this. I'm gonna click E. I mean, no, because if Florges comes in, I go hard into Accio. I just don't want to let him start. I'm gonna click Rock Blast. Because if Florges comes in, I think he'll die to Toxic plus Sand plus Rock Blast. So let's click that. He's just gonna click. I should have clicked EQ there. That would have been the best play. Point. That's not good. I got 2 again. Henry. Well, my play is to go into Sporticus and reset my sand for Henry. Or just try to get into Lele. In discharge, we'll do a sizable chunk now. Yeah, I did 20 last time. Without sand, I think that means it'll do 50, but I'm stupid, so let's check it. Oh, discharge without sand. Oh no, it only does 31. Well, I'm gonna click Rock Blast again. Don't pair him, please. Well, that's a damn shame. Because that would have done a lot. That Rock Blast, even with 3 hits, that would have done enough where Ty could have cleaned up. I can definitely take another one. I'm just gonna pray I don't get parried again. I'm gonna click Rock. He goes into Fortress this time. Please hit this. Okay, he's dead. He's gonna die to... No, he's not. Oh, I knocked off his leftovers. Alright, well, thank God that I got 3 hits there. Doublade's gonna come out. Harden to Sporticus. If he doubles into Zapdos, that's okay. I can put something to sleep. Heat Wave won't kill me because he's not invested. He's gonna click Iron Head. He's gonna take a punch from that. I'm just gonna click Spore. Something's going to sleep. He's gonna sneak me. That's okay. Let's see how much Heat Wave from Zapdos will do to me. I should be able to either get a Toxic off or put it to sleep. Heat Wave does 45, 54 maximum, which means he can't kill me, so Spore. Yep, 1. Go to sleep. And then, where should we click here? Should be able to click Wicked Blow twice. Unless he pairs me. Bonk. And a second Wicked Blow is going to pick up the game. That's what I call a riveting win. GG's to Nega-Loser. That was a very good game. Very well played. Dealing with Wish is always annoying, but he handled that very well. Great predictions on his part. But I think, you know, the offensive stuff, the offensive stuff just kind of put on a little bit too much pressure for him. But that was a really good game. Played very, very well. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked the battle, drop a like for Nega-Loser. He played very, very well. Be sure to subscribe if you're new. We've got a lot of Pokemon content coming up. It's going to be great. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.